Welcome to Creative Glory, the podcast, where we talk about faith, family, entrepreneurship, and honestly, a little bit of everything in between. From testimonies with guests to funny stories with our family to what not to do. Join us, Britt and Anthony, and our family on this journey called life as we keep Jesus first, grow with our family, and build our businesses.
Wait, where'd it go? Is it starting? Oh, Jesus, it's starting. Okay. Hi. Welcome back. I'm Anthony. This is my wife, Britt. And today we will be going over not quitting, persevering, pushing through. Right?
Yep.
Maybe. I don't know. We're winging it today. We're doing my style, which is what I like. So
fun.
Will you read the Bible?
So today's scripture is out of 2 Corinthians 12:9. And he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, most gladly I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me."
Yeah. What do you get out of it?
Well, actually, today we were going to wing it. And so I asked the Lord, "What do you want to talk about, Jesus? What are we going to record?" And I heard him say, "Don't quit." I was like, okay, we're not going to quit. But It wasn't for us. It was for the people listening and for us. But I really had a sense the Lord saying, don't quit. So many people right now are going through the pressing, going through the crushing. They feel like, I just cannot take it any longer. I feel like, maybe you're in a season where God's asked you to stay somewhere where you don't even want to be anymore. You're like, I'm done. I'm done with these people that I'm around. I'm done with the circumstances. I want to move. I want to, change churches, jobs, whatever, change states, countries. But God still has you there right now. And you just want to quit. And I really feel like you're coming to the end of yourself, or the person that, is on the other end of where you're starting something new, you're launching something new, and all of a sudden you come into your promised land. But now there's giants that you have to slay, right? Because when the Israelites came to the promised land, it wasn't just, okay, we're in the promised land. Yay, we made it.
They weren't?
No. Oh. Now they needed to conquer the land. It was given to them. So they had the grace to be able to conquer the land because God was backing them up.
They had to claim it. But
they still had to go in and defeat the giants. Mm-hmm. And maybe you're that person where, okay, you've gone through the season of, staying where longer than what you wanted, but you obey the Lord. And now you've stepped into your promised land, but now you got to slay the giants. And now you're like, I don't want to do it. I quit.
Yeah, because it's going to be harder.
Yeah. And I really feel like the Lord's saying to you too, don't quit. Just keep going forward. And the scripture talks about God's strength is made perfect in your weakness. And I think the whole point of both scenarios is you've come to the end of yourself. You realize you can't do it alone without him. And I really think that's the perfect place to be, because now you can't get anywhere with human striving. You can't get anywhere with just muscling it through and just willpower. No, you need God in this season. I feel like a lot of people are finally realizing they've done it, in their own power for so long, and now there's no grace for that. Like they're not getting the same results in their life.
Well, you wear yourself then.
Yeah.
When you rely on yourself, it's you're trying to do it, and instead of it, it's not going to be easy regardless. Mm-hmm. But whenever you're doing it and you're trying to do it on your own power, that's where the struggles really happen.
Yeah.
And that's where you become defeated mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, because you're trying to do it so much on your own. Mm-hmm. And that's usually when you want to give up, is whenever you've thought that you've hit the bottom, and because you've done everything that you can do, because you weren't leaning on God. Mm-hmm. You were doing it on your own. You thought the timing and the work ethic was there, and the timing that you had, the timing that you thought that it was going to be, it may not be. I can 100% hear Faith. I don't know how. But anyways, so don't rely on yourself. It's you have to you have to rely on something else. God is what you need to actually rely on. You need to lay it down. You have to admit your weaknesses. You have to.
How is this
I have
picking up
no
the children
idea.
from downstairs?
Anyways, go ahead. They're okay. They'll be in the ear. I don't know if it's picking it up on there.
I
So
think it is, and I can hear it.
I can hear it perfectly fine too, but go.
Okay. I don't even know where we're at because I'm hearing kids talk through this mic.
It's not through the mic, it's through the headphones, but I don't know if it's coming where it's coming from. But so now, see, we can keep an eye on the kids by listening through the headphones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so new age spying. But anyways, don't rely on yourself in the season. It's going to be a whole lot harder. You can see the promised land, you can gain access to the promised land, but you still have to slay the giants.
Mhm.
You still have to claim it.
Mhm.
And when you're right on the threshold of I know you can hear the TV. When you're right on the threshold of claiming it and getting that, you know instantly that that's when you're going to get hit the hardest.
Yeah.
And that's whenever you're going to want to quit. And whenever it seems like the only answer is to quit, that's whenever you're right on, success's door for what you want.
This should be an ad for the mics that they're able to pick up.
It's not mics, it's headphones.
I don't know how we're hearing the kids' stuff from literally
We
all the way in another room with the door shut.
Yeah, TV, everything's going off, and you can hear the theme music.
The theme of the music. But yeah, no, that's what I really felt like the Lord said. I don't think this podcast is going to be very long, but to encourage you that don't quit. And here lately, there's this book. What is it? I got it wrong when I was trying to describe it to you.
War of Art.
Yeah. The book is about resistance, and resistance can come in many forms. Mm-hmm. And we know that when you're strength training, you need resistance, right? Mm-hmm. Resistance is what actually builds muscle and builds strength. Well, we can think about that in our lives when we come up against things that are difficult or hard and like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go on anymore. I just want to sit down and watch Netflix all day and not do what I know I need to do. But resistance comes in many forms. And for me, I think one of the biggest ways resistance shows up in my life is procrastination. If I think that something's going to be too hard, I make it such a big deal in my head that I will put it off for the longest time. For example, when we did the Shallow Global Business Seminar, right? When we were planning that, me and it's through Stacey Campbell. I was helping, and Mimi and Jenny, we were all helping put some things together for it and more people. But my job was to do the booklet.
Yep.
The handbook that we were going to give out digitally, right? The ebook. And I thought that it was going to be so hard. I built it up in my head. Mind you, I've never done anything like that before. I've never created a whole ebook that's like 50 pages long. And I wouldn't say I'm a graphic designer. I just started learning Canva 6 months prior to starting to help work on that handbook. But the biggest thing was I made it such a big deal in my head that, oh my God, it's going to be so hard. When I actually sat down to do it, I had the help of Dr. Tina Alton, phenomenal business leader. She got voted #1 entrepreneur in the UK. I think a few years ago. And she was so helpful because she's the one that helped us do the series in the book called Business in a Box, where we can lay out the steps of how to launch a business, because the conference was about merging business and ministry and how do you really what that looks like, business in the marketplace. But anyways, had I not had her help, I don't think I could have done it. But when I had one Zoom call with her for an hour and she was able to break down how to do that, it's like everything clicked. and I only had a month to get it done. And I think I finished it 2 weeks before, or almost up until the last minute before we left. I finished the book. But when I actually sat down to do it, it took like 2 or 3 days. And we planned, I was helping plan this part of it for 8 months. That's how long I procrastinated, but it's because I didn't think I was capable. A lot of times, God is going to put opportunities in your way that you don't think that you're capable, but you don't know until you try. You don't know you can do something until you do it. It kind of reminds me when we did Bible study, our friend LaShira was sharing about the 4 minute mile. And we've read that before about how no one broke it until it was broken.
And then in the following weeks, like 11 people broke it.
Yes.
Over the next couple of years, it just kept getting smaller and smaller.
You don't know what you're capable until you try. And a lot of times, you don't even know what's in you until you go through the fire, until you go through resistance, and you have to overcome the resistance, not in your own power, not in your own power, but when you lean on the Lord. And well, maybe you can help explain that. What does that practically? What does your eyes look like? What does that practically look like when people say, rely on the Lord, don't do it in your own power? What does it look like for you?
Calm on the outside, panicking on the inside. Very much so. For me, it's basically getting out of my own head.
Yeah.
I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. I know what I like to do. I know what I don't like to do. But as far as me, practical side, it's knowing and trusting that what I'm doing is right and that I'm on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, along the way, you're going to have hills and valleys no matter what you do. There's no way that the only thing that you're going to have is like peak the entire way.
No.
It's going to be ups and downs. You're going to learn things along the way, but what you're learning along the way is things that are going to help you at the end whenever you have to claim it. Mm-hmm. It's mundane, everyday things that you don't think that matter, but trusting God that you are in the right place, the right time, and that you're persevering, pushing through, that you're really relying and trusting on Him, and discerning everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Discernment is really important. You know when you're not doing something right. You know when you have that feeling that this doesn't feel right. Maybe I shouldn't. Don't do it. Don't be dumb. Like it's really simple. Oh, I feel like I shouldn't do this, but I think maybe I should. No, don't. Just don't do it.
Yeah, Anthony's like cut or dry. Do this, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't be in between.
Yeah. Should I do this or should I do this? I don't know. What's the outcome if you don't do it? Well, this will happen. Okay, what's the outcome if you do it? This will probably happen. Oh, which one sounds better? Okay, then don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? Do it. Sounds good.
And don't be afraid to, along that lines, if you do step out and do something that you're unsure of, that's the Lord or not, and you don't really have any negative, like not peace, and you don't really have peace. It's kind of a neutral ground. What does it hurt to take a chance?
John Maxwell has it best. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Yeah.
The only way to lose is to quit.
Yeah. And you're still learning, like you're learning in the process. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean you made a mistake. It means, okay, you took an opportunity and you tried something like, oh, wow, I don't like that. And I'm not good at that. And there are no capacity in me that.
Yeah, we also have the other side of it where you're stepping out and doing something that you've never done before. But then that right there is actually what, projected you or propelled you into that next level.
That's true.
Just because it's not something that you want to do, feel like you should do, it's another stepping stone. Now, whether it's a stepping stone straight forward, or if you're going straight to the right or left a couple steps, and then back one, and then jump up 5. Everything has a place as far as how it's going, and it will not look anything at all like you expect it to.
No.
the journey is in no way, shape, or form what you expect it to be.
Mm-mm.
And that's where it comes in, where you're focusing on that, that last step, that finish, that goal. What happens when you hit the goal? I don't do anything now. I've accomplished it. Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to accomplish it in a day? A couple years, depending on what it is, but it's whenever you get there. And often the thing that you're focusing on as far as that goal, you don't really want that. You'll see somebody else who has it, that goal that you think that you want, but you don't really want that. And along the way, it'll deviate. And then the goal that you have now is a whole lot bigger. And so it's like, man, but to reach this, I'm going to have to go through all of this. Is it worth it? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth it? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Have fun. Just have fun along the way.
Well, life's about the journey, and we'll talk more about this book on another episode because I want to dive into it deeper. But there's a book I've been reading probably for the third time, but it didn't really sink in until now.
Well, most often books, especially ones that are deeper,
Yeah.
ones that are not like cut and dry with certain things, it depending on where you're at,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is mentally, spiritually, or anything, you will get something different out of it.
That's true.
You're at a different place, you're at a different mindset. And so I know what book you're talking about, but really it can be any book that is either considered like self-help or anything of that nature. It's every single thing in there is gonna hit you differently. So you're gonna learn something different out of it, or you're gonna get something different out of it.
Yeah.
It just depends on where you're at.
Well, the book called Psycho Cybernetics, and when I was reading, there's a chapter about happiness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was talking about putting off. What did it say? You forego happiness. What do you call that? Prolong it. You put it off.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word that they explained it. You know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But so many people either put happiness in the bank. You put off happiness because you're thinking that when you get to that goal, when I get married, I'll be happy. When I have a baby, I'll be happy. When you get your dream, when I get my dream job, I'll finally be happy. Or when I get $1 million and I'm wealthy, I'll be happy. And then when you get there, like you said, it's going to look nothing like you thought it was. It's probably the happiness and joy might last for a split second, but then you're putting off happiness again. You're continually putting off, okay, maybe when I get to this level, I'll be happy. No, he talks about when you learn to be happy and content where you are, happiness is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice. The scripture, we might have read that on the last podcast, but choose joy. It's a choice to choose joy. You make that decision every single day when you wake up. I choose to be cheerful today. I choose to be joyful today. Will things go your way? Most likely not all the time. Most of the time, things surprise you. But if you know that and you're kind of prepared that it probably is not going to go my way, but no matter what, if someone's honking at me for in traffic, that happens to me. If that happens to be a lot. If I don't know where I'm going, I'm the person that is a little bit slower driving.
No, you are turtle not moving.
Well, I want to make sure I don't take the wrong turn.
I need to turn in 2 miles.
Them
Why are you
GPS,
slowing down
they
now?
lie sometimes. But anyways, I just from my kind of big wake up call, what I needed from that book right now is the resistance that I'm facing right now. I can choose to think of it in a negative light and be negative Nancy. I found myself complaining a lot over the past few weeks prior than a week ago. I started complaining a lot and I caught myself. You did. Anthony calls everything out. And I'm like,
No, I
can you
didn't.
sugarcoat it and just say, babe, please don't do that. Anthony's like,
No.
suck it up.
I can't. I cannot
Stop
sugarcoat it.
complaining.
I don't.
You're so negative.
No, it's not that I can't sugarcoat it. It's just that
He doesn't want to.
it's not that I don't want to. It's if I come at it from like a passive, well, maybe you shouldn't say that, but I understand why you would say that. No, stop saying it. Stop.
He hurts my feelings a lot, but you know what? I actually need it because the Lord speaks to him through him a lot, and that's not who I want the Lord to speak through sometimes. But you know, God actually speaks the most through people
that you
that
don't want
you
to hear it
don't
from.
want to hear it from. But you know, deep down, you got that conviction. You know it's the Lord, and
Let's
you're
rebel.
like, "Oh,
All right, Jonah. I don't want to listen to you. That's fine. Get swallowed by the well, and you end up there eventually, anyways. But no, it's not that I don't sugarcoat it. It's my thing is if you're gonna be a pessimistic or if you're gonna be happy, optimistic, people want to surround themselves with happy people.
Mhm.
Happiness is a choice. You choose to be happy. You choose to let somebody aggravate you, destroy your day. You allow that.
Mhm.
We were always told we control two things: our actions and our attitude.
Mhm.
We choose to be happy.
Mhm.
But people want to surround themselves with happy people. You
Yeah.
ever been around a group of people that are just pessimistic and absolutely just angry, sad, mopey? Yeah, it's not fun.
What's that
It's
scripture? Good morals corrupt. Wait, bad morals corrupt good people.
Psalms
No, it's the Proverbs.
or Proverbs, I meant.
But
Yeah,
kind of that, you know, whoever you surround yourself with, you're going to be more like.
yeah. You get the law of averages.
Mhm.
But you want to surround yourself with happy people. Nobody ever finds the gloomy person, staring in the corner in the dark and is like, I want to hang out with that guy. He seems like a lot of fun.
Except for the people that are already miserable. Misery loves company.
They do because they find something in common that they can complain about.
Yeah, but the more, and that's what I was realizing. I was in the state of complaining. I didn't even notice I was doing it until I was saying things here and there. And I realized when you're complaining, you're not grateful.
Mm-hmm.
When you choose to be grateful, you're actually more happy.
Yeah.
You're more appreciative. You have a better attitude. And the more you complain, the more things in your life will start happening for you to complain about. The more that you're grateful and appreciative, you're going to actually start seeing things that you're more grateful and appreciative of, because whatever you focus on, you're going to get.
Yeah.
So it's like the topic of don't quit, you know, and resistance. Think about the resistance that you're in right now. You can choose to think, okay, I am going to, God's strength is made perfect in my weakness. I'm going to trust in the Lord in this season, even though I feel like quitting. I'm going to take it day by day. And sometimes it's moment by moment, minute by minute. You know, when some bad, terrible news happens, yes, it's going to affect you. And you might be devastated. You lose a loved one or something. And there may be, you know, a time for grief, but you can't stay there. You're not always 100% going to be, I need to address that too. You're not always 100% going to be happy all the time.
No, that's it. That's unrealistic. You still have to be realistic about everything also.
But
you
for the
can't be
most
like,
part, you know, you fall back down, you pick yourself back up,
or you surround
try
people
again.
that will pick you back up. They understand. So that's why it's important to have people like that. It's people that you can trust and confide in. But
I found out what it was. My Bluetooth is connected.
Huh. That's good.
I think it's connected to the audio.
That's perfectly fine. It'll be all right. But finding somebody or a group of people that you can talk to that can lift you up. There's only a few things that bother me as far as like grieving over losing a loved one, that type of thing. I don't know. I don't view it the same as other people do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't it no matter what you do, you can always find a reason to be negative about any type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
You can find a reason to complain about any type of situation. F11.
F11?
F11. You can find any
Where's
situation.
F11?
Oh my Jesus, it's on the top.
I don't see F11.
Alt. F11.
Alt what?
Up at the very top.
Alt?
Yes. Oh.
I'm sorry. I know this is picking that up on the recording.
There.
Let's see if we cut Bluetooth off if that helps. That does not help.
Bluetooth is off. Anyways, we're gonna finish this out.
Okay.
Perfectly brown. Nook to granny ratio, excellent.
Milk to granny ratio. I don't know where I was.
You're talking about grief. You don't view it the same as other people.
Yeah, I don't view it the same. So whenever it I can't, sounds like Count Chocula.
It's so loud.
Anyway,
You finish this.
I don't. Sorry, we have got to figure out what the kids are watching because it's hooked up to here. I don't grieve the same as other people do. So whenever it comes to losing a loved one or something of that nature, it's always finding the best thing about them. You know, the thing that you love the most about them. So there is very minimal grieving going on with that. But being pessimistic and being negative about everything, it actually it has a chemical effect not only in your brain, but it has a physical effect on your body. Most people who are negative and most people who are pessimistic, they tend to be sick more often than others. Hey, it stopped. Good job. Nope, we are good. It has stopped. I was just saying that people who tend to be more pessimistic and negative, it has a chemical effect not only on the brain, but it also has a physical effect within your body.
Yeah.
Those people tend to be sicker. Those people tend to have more illnesses.
Whenever emotions get trapped in your body scientifically.
Yeah, but I mean it also it has a neurological effect on you, and you can learn that in Dr. Carolina Leaf's book. But it's really a choice, and when you choose to be happy, but not being fake happy, it's when you actually when you're happy, and you can still see the good, whether it's something's bad that's going on. Don't focus on the bad. I'm not saying just ignore it completely like it never happened, but don't focus on it too long, because whenever you focus on it, then you become completely encompassed and negative and bad and sad and woe is me. Why am I not perfect? Why am I having this issue? Why does this person not? And you can find reasons to complain more than you can find reasons to praise. So really, it's finding the reasons to praise, even if it's something small.
And play.
Yeah. But it's often it's just find something small. I'm grateful. I have a house. My kids are happy. And I have a job. We can pay our bills. We'll
start a gratitude journal. That's what helps. If you want to get out a practical way to get out of that funk or that negative attitude or mindset of just being negative. What's the opposite of negative? It's positive. It's focusing. In Philippians 4:9, it talks about focus on, I think it's Philippians 4:9. Focus on these things, lovely, just, pure, of good report. Whatever you focus on, you're going to get more of, and be grateful. Well, the most practical way I know to do that is to meditate on scriptures. When I'm negative, I go to the Word. What does God say? And I meditate.
Love thy neighbor.
Even just find one scripture. I will just meditate on that. Philippians 4:9. God says that I need to focus on lovely, just, good, and good report. So, Lord, thank you for this house. Thank you for my husband. Thank you for my kids. And
what was that? Say it again.
Thank you for my husband.
You can say it one more time.
Okay, for example, we'll just give you a real life example. I was so mad at Anthony last week. I didn't even know. Well, nah. Just it was little things every day kind of building up, and I didn't want to talk about it because I didn't want to be that nagging wife, and just I don't know. I just started getting internally just frustrated, and I'm like, Lord, I don't want to be ungrateful. I want to be thankful for Anthony. I don't want to focus on the negative.
That's right.
Anyways, I sat before the Lord and I started thinking about all the things that I was grateful for with Anthony, that he's a provider, that
Amen.
He is funny, that
Amen. Keep him coming.
We love basketball together. I don't know. He's a good father. I started thinking about all these things that I was grateful for with him. And all of a sudden, what I was mad about him really didn't matter, because is it going to matter in 5 years? No. Is it going to matter in a few months? No.
Is it
So there
gonna
was no
matter
point in me
tomorrow?
staying
No.
resentful. But just to kind of sum up, kind of what we were talking about is, you know, the word of encouragement. Don't quit. This season may seem difficult and hard, but like Anthony said, surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. If you're around a lot of negative Nancy's and people that are gossiping continually and making you feel like, you know, yes, go ahead and quit. They encourage you to do the easy thing, or they are negative about your dreams and goals and things you want to accomplish. Surround yourself with other people. And if you look at and say, I don't have anybody like that in my life. Well, we did a series on networking, but also ask the Lord. Say, Lord, you know where I'm at in this season. I would like to surround myself with more godly people. And you know what? Actually, when you start thinking positively and you're grateful and appreciative, you naturally draw those people to you
Yeah, you draw. Well, you
and
already
those
said it.
opportunities.
You already said it. You draw what you
Yeah.
focus on the most. That's what you draw towards you.
Yeah. And
Uh,
just, you know, talking about the resistance, remember, his strength is made perfect in your weakness. One of the things that I've struggled with most of my life is I don't like to appear to be weak. I don't like to, for me, I guess the form of control would be I want to know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, so I can be absolutely prepared. And in this season,
like every podcast.
yeah. Well, I like an outline, so we're just not rambling because I can ramble, like you've seen on this one.
Sometimes rambling's fun.
But I
Yeah, but rambling can send you in so many different directions that you didn't know you were going to go in.
I know, but that was one of the areas that certain people in my life before said that I
don't
needed to
care.
improve on.
I don't care
I
what
need
other
to get
people
to the
have
point
said.
and not ramble. Because I can ramble. But
Whatever.
anyways,
Forget those people. You ramble. I'm the concise one. Her 17 minutes, I can concise it up in about 4 words.
yeah, usually.
Trust the Lord now. Boom.
There you go.
Yep. See, I'm good at that. So from now on, you're going to talk for 37 minutes, and then I'm going to come at the end, say one sentence, and just be done.
No.
Right?
No.
Well, it doesn't matter because even if you do want to quit and you do quit, it sucks because it's going to be harder to start it over.
Mm-hmm.
But the worst part is you're still going to have to go through that process.
Oh, yeah.
You're still going to have to go through that. And then you'll get to there every single time, that point, and then you'll want to quit. And if you quit, it's 100 times harder starting it back up, getting back into the process. That's why people get stuck in limbo and where they're
cycles. You were literally going to repeat the cycle. You ever found yourself around the same time every year? If you haven't moved past a certain level, you just about face the same type of situations. For me, the past 2 or 3 years,
10.
I have faced the same type of personalities and people per se.
Yeah, you're not allowed to bring people home anymore.
I brought a homeless person home and then she wouldn't leave for 3 days. And Anthony wouldn't tell her to leave.
No, you brought her in.
I tried to tell her that it was time to go.
No.
She wreaked havoc in my mental well-being. That sounds absolutely insane when I say it out loud.
Yeah, that's usually when it's the best time to say, like, hey, does this sound crazy? And then you say, you're like,
I just want to help people.
Yeah.
I've learned don't be naive.
You can see the
Use
most
discernment.
amazing thing in people, but the problem with it
I see the best in everybody.
is you don't see the reality part of it. Where it's just like, that's a red flag, Brittany.
I see the God potential.
Did you see that? She's like, nah,
but Anthony
didn't
won't
see it.
say anything. He waits until
No, I don't
see it.
I will voice my opinion.
You didn't with that person.
When you ask me a question, I'm like, man, I don't know. And it's not a yes or no. It's kind of like, hey, do you think she's crazy? I'm like, man, I don't know. How do you feel about the way that she prayed for us over dinner? I don't know. It's crazy. I want to check her out, but you're like, she's gonna go shopping with us tomorrow. I met her
at a faith conference, so I just believed I could trust her. And this is where
yeah, at a faith conference where she literally brings her home and she's homeless.
We're not gonna talk about that.
There's
That's-
nothing you can. There's absolutely no point in the story where you can literally go, yeah, that actually sounds sane. I enjoy that. Like, yeah,
We've
I can
had
see
so
myself.
many experiences.
Yeah, but
Imagine
every
being-
single one of them, you have learned
Yes.
something.
I have.
And
I learned to
it's
set
never-
boundaries.
It's never gotten into a bad situation.
That's
I've
'cause
never
God
let it get there,
protected me.
and I've never gotten it there.
Anything,
But I
protected
have
me.
sat back and I've been like, "That's a dumpster fire." But it's like a car wreck. Like you ever been somewhere and you see somebody backing up and you see somebody driving in a parking lot and you're like, they're gonna wreck, and then you just want to see it happen. We used to do that all the time, and we would just be like, "Hey, yo, they're about to be a wreck." So we would all
So
at
Anthony's
school, we would
saying
just
he
sit there and
doesn't
just watch.
intervene. He just watches.
If it's now there's like a kid crossing a road and somebody's backing up, you're gonna stop because you don't want to see that. But when it's two cars coming through a parking lot, it's slow. It's like, no, we're gonna watch this.
That's not
That's
me.
kind
I
of
would
what
jump
it
out
is.
and say, "Hey, don't do that."
Yeah, not me. I'm gonna watch it. I just want to see what happens. Because it's in those times in emergency situations like that where it's not really that serious, but obviously people aren't paying attention, and it's like, hey, you know what? I want to see how they react. I want to see who blames who.
Oh my gosh, this is not reality TV.
100%. This is amazing. I love watching car wrecks like that. It's just like no one's gonna get hurt, but I want to see who's gonna blame who. And that's kind of what it's like.
I don't like tense situations, so I'll try to stop it and make peace.
No, you try to take the blame for everything.
Don't even tell that story.
Which one? Which one?
I don't like people mad at each other or me.
But
See,
when-
my giant in this season that I am slaying in Jesus' name is people pleasing.
yeah, she'll take fault for anything.
I just
It's our fault. No, in case you can't see, they're driving across the parking lot and across literally parking spots while we're in the lane, and she's like, "It's our fault. We didn't." No,
I
it
was
didn't.
pregnant and emotional.
They had a pregnant person with them, and she not one time did she say, "No, it's ours." And then you pregnant women are like fighting because it's like, "I'm taking the blame." No, I'm taking the blame. That's not how it happened.
Mm-mm.
You literally roll down the window and go, "It's our fault." No, it's not. Absolutely not. I'm gonna get out and take a picture. Then the guy in their backseat gets out and takes a picture. I'm taking a picture too.
I
I'm
want
like,
to keep the peace.
I'm like, that's fine. You can clearly see where the parking lot lines are for the spaces. And you can see that I'm not there. You don't have a mirror anymore because my truck tire just ripped it off. And who's to blame? Brittany's going, we're blame. It's
No.
our fault. Nah, don't work like that.
That's it. That's our life.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, hey, you just made a problem. And she's like, no, we didn't. It's our fault. No. No, we're not taking the blame. We don't take the blame. Now, if it is our fault, that's one thing. Usually it's not. And if it is, you're still over there going, it's our fault.
I got us covered.
Can I have an awkward hug?
Oh, don't even. Okay, y'all. I have not wrecked ever myself on purpose.
Nobody wrecks on purpose.
Well, usually I'm the one getting hit if I've been in a wreck, right?
Calhoun Mel Lady.
What was that?
You're driving to work at the
That wasn't Calhoun.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. You got off the interstate and you hit the Mel person.
Oh my god, I don't remember that. Well,
You're
anyways,
driving to Calhoun so that you can go to work at the Anytime Fitness. And you called me up and said, I just got into a wreck. What? I got into a wreck. Are you okay? Yeah. I don't know what happened. I hit the back of the mail
oh, I
truck.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Because it was icy. I slid.
It was not icy.
No?
No, it
That was
was
a different
not.
time. Oh boy. Apparently I've hit people more than once.
She's never been in a wreck. Never been her fault.
I took the blame anyways. I ran into a lady the other day. I don't know where I was at. This was 2 weeks ago. And I slammed on I just didn't she's right in front of me at a stop sign. I didn't see her.
Mhm.
That's when you know you're completely spaced out. And it didn't help. I was listening to prophetic worship music when I bumped into her car because I guess I did see her and I thought she went. I don't know. I don't remember, but it happened so quickly. Well, I ran into the back of her van. I didn't hit it that hard, her little SUV. I didn't hit it that hard. I made like a quarter size little dent in the like bumper, but she just got it. It was new. I was so frazzled that I hit her, and she had a kid in the car, and I had 2 in my car. I literally was crying. I was like, "I'm so sorry." And she started to cuss me out and then realized I'm having a panic attack, and the worship music's playing. I can't cut it off. I clicked the off. I did everything, cut the volume down, cut my phone off, and it didn't come off. So worship music's blasting. I just hit this woman and she's yelling at me. And all of a sudden, I told her, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I don't know what I was thinking." And she looked at it, and she couldn't even see the dent. I had to point the dent out to her. So I'm like, "But it's right there." And I'm like, "If we need to pay for it, I'll pay for it. Do you want to call insurance?" She's like, "No." And I ended up giving her a hug. When I feel awkward,
You hug.
I hug people. And I already don't like to hug. Not really. I'm not really a touchy-feely person.
You're a hugger.
But when it's because I'm from Louisiana, from the South, we hug people, but I don't even really like to hug people, to be honest. Well, anyways, I hugged her and I was like, "I'm so sorry." And then I said, "Get my number in case I have to pay for it." she texts me later and she's like, "It's not that big of a deal." I kid you not. That was on my mind for 3 days straight.
Yeah, it was.
I felt so bad. And then I saw her in this.
So she texts me and she calls me and she goes, "Hey, I need to talk to you as soon as possible." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I called her. I was like, "Hey, what's up?" She goes, "Are you busy right now?" Kind of, because I'm at work. I'm like, "Kind of. What you got?" And she goes, you sound busy. I'm just going to tell you later." I was like, "No, I'm on the phone right now. You can tell me now." She goes, "I got to a wreck. I hit the back of somebody." I was like, "Okay. You okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." She has a small dent. We didn't call the insurance company, but I gave her my phone number and I said we would pay for any damages. No, we won't. We will not. You can call insurance company because our deductible is going to be way less than fixing anything. She goes, "Yeah, I gave her the number. She lives on the other side of the neighborhood." Our neighborhood is wishbone shaped. We live on the right. She lives on the left.
And then I saw her in school.
The next day, we go there because we're doing
teacher orientation.
The orientation for kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Brandy's kind of like looking. We're in the office. She's like looking at this person.
I couldn't figure out where I knew her from.
And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of weird." You can see it's working. Those gears are going. And she's like, "I know this person." And then in the office, she goes, I know where I know her." I was like, "Oh, cool." She goes, "That's the woman I hit." And I was like, "Oh, do you want to go give her a hug now? Since you obviously last time y'all saw each other, you were hugging."
I just hid behind my kid.
Yeah, you see her going further and further back in the chair, going down a little bit, just going, not trying to make eye contact.
It was her because her vehicle
had
a dent.
First day we go to drop off Faith for actual kindergarten, and she's like 2 cars in front of us.
Oh, she was 1 car in front of me the other day, and she kept pulling up way ahead, and I kept my space.
Yeah, it's about time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, depth perception. Women don't really have good depth perception.
Y'all, this is terrible. I didn't have my glasses on, so I forgot them at the house. I can't believe I forgot them.
Can't be any worse than having them on. Let's be honest. Sometimes. No, the glasses are an excuse. Absolutely. At nighttime, I believe you. During the daytime, no.
Yeah, it was just I was spaced out.
Mm-hmm.
Be intentional.
Yeah.
Be present.
Yeah. So, back to weakness. Your weakness, people pleasing. Yeah.
And Christ's strength is made perfect in my weakness.
Yeah. So, please no one.
Please him.
Well, that's no one. That's
he is
one.
a one.
That's the one, but not no one.
What's your weakness?
Being amazing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what my weakness is.
That's a fib.
Talking?
No.
Listening?
Mm-mm.
What's my weakness?
Fear of failure.
Not really. It used to be. It was. At one point in time, like when we first met.
Oh, nope. I know your weakness.
Oh, God, here we go. What?
No empathy.
I have empathy. I just don't process it the same. I understand what you're going through. Do you know how we resolve this? Stop.
No empathy.
Practical.
That's okay. We're good.
No, it's practical. It's not that I don't have any empathy. I understand. I understand that you
He
feel
just
this.
doesn't show it.
I understand that you feel this way because of A and B, but the way that we fix this is to stop.
You don't say the first part to me. You just tell me to stop.
Yeah, because the other parts should be understood, and that's for anybody.
I'm a words of affirmation. I need to hear it.
I understand that, but even if I say, hey, I understand you feel that way because people pleasing is very important to you.
No,
and,
it's not.
and
I've
that
gotten
it's-
much better.
Exactly. I'm just stop. If you ask me any question and just like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Gotcha. Stop. I don't know why I keep saying this. You know how you stop? Close it. Don't say it. Why do I have to text people back as soon as they text me? Well, except for me, you do that with everybody else. But you know how you stop? Don't text them. But I have to. But don't. That's how you fix it.
I feel like they're watching me.
Exactly. I don't care. As long as I don't have that stupid notification, that's my weakness.
I mentally respond to people all the time. I just forget to physically respond to them.
My weakness is
Anthony hates to be on the phone.
I hate being on the phone 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I hate driving
Mm-hmm.
because I'd rather if it's
not a weakness. It's just a dislike.
if I will drive anywhere. I can be in a car anywhere as long as it's beautiful scenery.
I drive a lot.
The minute that there's not any beautiful scenery, I could care less about being into a car. It is boring. I hate it.
I love road trips.
I do, but it has to be scenery. When you're going from
I like driving
East
and
Texas
talking.
to West Texas, as soon as you cross over San Antonio and you're headed west, it is flat. And for the next 7, 8, 9 hours, it is the exact same scene the entire way. It's miserable. Don't like it. But I don't have a weakness.
Okay. Now that the people who've listened to these podcasts, if you listen to the first 5, maybe you can point out a weakness of Anthony.
Maybe you can't. Maybe you should stick to yourself. Maybe it's really important that you not judge other people. Now, what'd you say?
I'm just kidding. All right, we're going to end here.
Jesus is 45 minutes.
Every time. It's 47.
Well, when you get on certain things. So, I mean, you can go the happiness route and then you can lead off into, I don't know, mental health. Like, it's broad. So there's so many ways that you can go into.
That's why we need notes.
You don't really need notes. To me, it winds up being better because if we had notes, we would have stopped at 17 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this goes, yeah, it can lead into so many other things.
Well, to sum it up, let's sum it up for him.
You can go first, and then I'll make it concise.
Okay. God's strength isn't made perfect in your weakness. So
Obviously.
right now in this season, if you feel weak and you feel like you can't go on any longer, good. You've come to the end of yourself. It's time to now rely on the Lord and trust in Him that it's going to all work out for your good, what you're going through. The resistance that you're feeling right now is actually strengthening you. You're gaining muscles, strengthening you for, I believe, for your calling, for your destiny, but it's the journey that you're to enjoy. So every time you feel resistance and you overcome resistance, you get stronger and more equipped for the next part of your journey. And if you quit now with whatever you're doing and you feel like the Lord's telling you not to, but you do it anyway, you're going to have to come back to this test. So why not go ahead and tough it through now and lean on the Lord. It's not going to be fun or easy, but focus and choose gratitude and gratefulness and appreciation. And maybe if you feel in a funk right now and everything's so hard, go have fun. It's okay to rest and take a break, but get back up and keep going. It doesn't mean you completely quit, but it's good to take rest and reprieve. And when you're in this type of season, find a hobby, do something for fun. For me, it's been journaling. I've been journaling a lot recently. I allow myself to watch one episode of something while I eat, and then I cut it off as soon as it's over. I am doing the long version of this. But anyways, don't quit. Whatever you're going through, the word for you right now, because you're hearing this, is do not quit until you feel the grace of God lift from whatever season that you're in. Don't quit.
Yeah, if you want to quit, don't. Boom. Is that concise?
I just said that.
Yeah, that's basically what I was gonna say the entire time, just less words.
Okay.
That, and if you do come to a spot where you are unsure or unaware of what to do, and an option is to just stop and to quit, and you quote unquote seek counsel, you ask people. If they tell you, yeah, quit, just go ahead and do it. Look and see where they're at. And if they're in a place where you want to be, or if they're just low hanging fruit. Because sometimes the people that you have that you surround yourself with them
Because they're in your comfort zone.
because it's a comfort zone. And also, you might be a 10 and they're all 6s. So, they're not going to stretch you in any way, shape, or form. And it doesn't push you in any way, shape, or form. If you don't have somebody who's going to be pushing you, who wants better for you, they want to keep you where they're at. Crabs in a bucket.
Mhm.
They're going to keep pulling you down. They want you to stay at their level because they're content. They want you to be there with them. You have to let them go. It sucks. It's hard. But sometimes people are in your life for a season, and that season is up.
Mhm.
It may be temporarily that it is a goodbye. Might be forever. I can cut people out of my life, no issues. Does not matter. And it's only because I don't lean on other people for certain things. If it's something that's important to me, my wife, I'll ask her, but I seek out the answers that I need for myself. If it's not a relationship or a friendship, partnership, anything of that nature, where both of us are trying to grow, we're both trying to get better, we're both trying to reach that next level, it's not there for me to continue to have them either drag me down or me drag them down. I'd rather see you succeed without me, and I would be a cheerleader on the sideline. Vice versa. I'd rather have you cheer for me or say bad things. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. But I don't want to have somebody who's supposed to be in my corner who's not pushing me to do better, to be better. And it's contentment. It's not where you want to be. It's all fine, but when you're looking at the end of your life, it's like, man, I could have done so much more. I could have been so much more. Could have, affected or changed so many more people's lives. But I was comfortable with where I was at, the friends that I had. Nobody pushed the next person to do better, to be better. If you want to get stronger in the gym, you gotta lift heavier weight.
Mm-hmm. Resistance.
Yes. And you gotta tear muscle, and what happens is more muscle grows back in its place and it's stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So breaking relationships, tearing relationships, sometimes they come back full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Both people have grown from it. They've realized, they've understood, and yeah, man, let's skyrocket. Let's go to the top. So trust in the Lord and choose to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be happy 24/7. Just smile. Be happy in any way, shape, or form. Try to find the positive in every situation. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit hard. Sometimes you have to acknowledge the negative side of it, but everything's a test. And with that, Brittany's going to sing you a song.
No, maybe next time.
I'm just checking.
I'm going to see how that works on here. That was not concise, by the way. That was like 3 times longer than my ending.
Yeah, but I didn't go off of what you were saying because you said, I said that.
Oh. Anyways, we pray that you have a blessed morning, day, night, whenever you hear this. What are you looking at me like that for?
Blessed morning, day, night.
Yes, morning, day, night. Blessed day or night.
How about just a blessed day? It's all day.
Okay, we pray you have a blessed day.
Yeah, from 12 a.m. until 11:59 p.m.
We hope that you got something valuable from us talking. And don't quit.
Don't quit. And if you need me to tell you to suck it up, send me a message. I'll tell you.
If you need some love and encouragement, send me a message.
Don't do that. Not everybody needs to be petted. Good night.